Let's go.
Yo, what up, Grizz Nation? And welcome back to Grizz 901 on a live Halloween special. Welcome to everybody joining us, and welcome to whatever that just was. The Grizzlies win 122-99. The Grizzlies showed out tonight. They showed out early as they scored a ton. I believe it was 70 points. I do believe it was in the first half. And so it was a crazy game, but they held on as they normally have not been holding on in the third and the fourth quarter. But tonight they held on completely, and it was a good night just overall. A good team win, but Morant going off for, I think it was 29 points, 10 rebounds, 14 assists. He was a plus 29 in the game, which I know that doesn't mean a whole lot, but it meant a lot when I see him having a better plus minus than he had really just minutes or just equal to his minutes. And so good night overall, but the chat is already filling up. If you're watching over on YouTube, thank you. Come in and hang out with us. We're going to have a ton of fun tonight, but also on social media. If you're joining us on Twitter, join us over on YouTube. There's a lot more of you over there in the chat, just kind of commenting and kind of hanging out with all of us tonight. But we're going to talk a little bit about the game and diagnose whatever that is and kind of look to the future a little bit. And then we're going to hit a little bit of Grizz Trivia, and then we're going to go and send you on your way with a look around and the look ahead. As we look around the league, we'll talk a little bit about Paulo Banchero, who is out indefinitely, and then we'll look ahead to the next game. But that's all we got. Nate's not here, so we got the fill-in. We got Ryan, and you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Whoop, I didn't even do the switch. Look at that. I'm just I'm falling on my I'm falling down tonight. Welcome, Ryan. What's up, man? How are you?
Feeling a lot better than last night, and all you have to do is bring me on and we win.
Exactly. King Meek says that's what happens when Taylor Jenkins comes dressed up as a coach for Halloween tonight. It happened. Not that I don't know if he had anything to do with tonight. It was mainly the Morant show. Off the top rope, just kind of coming off. Is it about Ja? What's your immediate thoughts about the game?
Yeah, Ja obviously was the superstar that he is, but I thought the role guys that's the difference between last night and tonight. Like Scottie Pippen was awesome. Jake was really good. Wells was really good. Like when you get contributions from the other guys at a high level, match that with the way Ja's playing at a high level, you're either always going to be in a game or you're going to have a game like tonight where you run out on a team like the Bucks.
100%. And they played well. They played well from the start. I do believe it was 70 points in the first half that they scored tonight. If I'm not mistaken, I can't get the box score to show up on my phone right now, but they showed out early. I was looking at it. The number on it was 55.5 for a first half line. I obviously played it because they're averaging 64.5, the most in the league. And then they end up scoring a total of 70. First quarter was 40, 30, 29, 23 tonight. The 23 I'm not worried about. It was the fourth quarter. You're already run down the team. But the Grizzlies played well. And so I'm curious what it looks like going forward. We don't have to worry about that tonight. It's Halloween. Get fat, get happy, eat your candy. Be excited about a Grizzlies win. But all in all, it was a good time. But a lot of people have questions about you, Ryan. You're back, obviously. Wayno wants to know, it's good to see you tonight in that HD. HD.
I thought about driving into or riding a boat into the middle of the ocean just for old time's sake, just to have bad connection, just to bring it back.
King Mix wants to know, is that Ryan who did the Grizzlies hype video? Well, I will say I don't know about the hype video, but he's doing the look aheads. If anybody knows about it, the look aheads, the Grizzlies. We're going to look ahead with you later, I hope. I haven't even asked you about that, but we're done with October. We're going to look ahead to the Grizzlies take on the 76ers, which is Saturday. So I hope you've done a little look ahead. I hope you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
I figured you did. I didn't have to ask. But tonight was a good win. Tonight, the Grizzlies win the 122-99. That was an old school win where the Grizzlies still get out, score in the 120s, and hold their opponents to 99. Anything stick out that besides Ja? We're going to talk a little bit more about Ja later on. Right. But just overall, anything that you saw that just kind of, entice you a little bit more, anything that you're really just kind of picking apart?
I mean, just besides the play of the role players, I mean, the problems for the Grizzlies have not changed. I mean, the Bucks just had a really bad shooting night from three, right? Like, I think they went 9 for 42, and I would say well over half of those threes were wide open. So it's not like the Grizzlies solved their problems. The difference was Ja played well and the role players were awesome, right?
Yeah.
So that, that is an easy way to win a game if a team does not shoot well from three. But it's not like tonight proves the Grizz are moving in the right direction. Things are starting to turn a corner. It was Ja being a superstar, everyone else pitching in like they should be.
Yeah, 100%. And Grizz Girl says, happy Jalloween. I like that one a lot. Happy Halloween to everybody who's kind of hanging out with us. I've literally been either handing out candy, chasing my kids as we go down Spooky Street. I think they've deemed it now. There's one street right down around the corner from us. Literally, there's like 12 to 14 houses kind of in a row. They all go out for Halloween. People from all over the city come, park their cars. Everybody gets out. We're right on the corner. So what happens is after everybody has gone to these houses, they flood our street to end the night. And so it was just handing out candy until like 9 something Central Time. And so I was like, all right, I got to shut this off. I got to do a show. But happy Halloween to everybody. Talking about that, the 3-point stuff that you were just discussing. Gary Trent Jr. and Damian Lillard, a combined 0 of 13. That's how you go 9 of 42. And that's
bad. No, Scott Pippen deserves a special shout out for that. Okay. I've given him, I've mentioned a lot his defensive stuff. And tonight I thought he was a pest. Okay. And I thought he did a really good job on Dame. Had a couple rips from him, but was just kind of in his face all night. And you could see Dame was frustrated. And it just, I think, took Dame completely out of the game.
Yeah, I agree. And he looked, as Janjo's saying, he looked disinterested, uninspired. Like he did not look like he wanted to be there. But I think that's how he's looked since he's been in Milwaukee. Like, I don't know if it's just Milwaukee, but he looks like he's not. I don't know. But as Wayno's saying, Pippen did play him Wells today, but also played Dame really well. And then Heaven's Healthy Kitchen, shout out to you. Pippen played well, just as you were saying, because sometimes these games can get overlooked because you see the big numbers of Ja Morant, but it's these other guys that really do kind of feed into that. King Meeks. I was waiting for somebody to say that. Dame frustrated because Glorilla wasn't here to see him. If anybody doesn't know, that's his old former friend. We'll say friend.
Special acquaintance.
Yeah, exactly. Looking through this, Jaren Jackson Jr. played 26 minutes.
Oh boy,
looked fine. 13 and 5. Nothing crazy about that. Santi, 33 minutes, 19 and 9. I thought he played well. Somehow Santi keeps getting those minutes. Is it because I got a question? All right. The question, I've seen this out there. Santi is like regularly playing a lot more minutes than Ja and Jaren. Okay.
Right.
What's your reasoning of that? Because they can't get Ja and Jaren the 30, and I know they had the injuries, but somehow Santi keeps getting them. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy, but like, why would he end up being a regular 30-minute guy, but these other guys have not the whole season?
I can't explain it to you because it doesn't make rational sense. The only thing I can think of is that maybe he's the only one without some nagging leg injury. Maybe. I don't know, but I don't know. But he's the only one getting the minutes like that.
Yeah.
The buzzword around town, minutes.
You have to talk about minutes if you're on the show. You got to talk about it.
Oh my God, it's terrible. I'll tell you, I hate it. We got multiple accounts tonight just scrolling Twitter or X, whatever you call it, where it was a minutes update. It's like, this is where we are this early into the season. We're doing like quarterly minutes updates for players. Like, golly, this is going to be a long year.
Yeah, for sure. And then you do get the 9-man rotation. So
probably injury related.
100%. That's why you're getting the 9 minutes. Let's keep going through the starters real quick. Jalen Wells, his first start of the season,
played really
of his
well,
career. He did play well. He had 16 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. He went 3 of 6 from deep. Thoughts on Jalen Wells? Because I think he looked under control tonight, just overall from what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think his play has really changed from game to game. He's just a rookie, right? Like his shot's going to be there and sometimes it's not. It doesn't mean like that he's bad.
Yeah.
Just that it's a fluctuation of NBA season, especially early in the season for a rookie.
Yeah.
And especially someone who is a second rounder that wasn't projected to really play at all with this team. He's done really well in the spot that he has been put into. So he's going to have up and down games like last night and tonight, like the flips of both. But when he's on, he's a huge help, major contributor on the bench for sure, lifting us up with threes.
Yeah, as Austin's saying here, Wells is a future starter. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Let's just we need to figure out other pieces. That means he has to make a big rise, but I'm okay with that. Listen,
that's AJ, GG, and Vince
100% because
that's quite a player.
Yeah, and so I'm down with the. I love being a fan because I think that might be not good or true, but if that's your guy, dude, rock with it forever. I will to the moon back you up for being a fan as long as you're not just calling me an idiot in here, to which some have, and I just, we block them, get rid of them. Let's go to the last guy, and that's going to be Zach Edey, 10-8. Right. I actually had my kids call their teacher tonight. Shout out Mr. House if he watches. Sometimes he does watch this, but I had them FaceTime the teacher. I think it was halftime. We just got back. And I did a little quiz, a little Grizz Trivia quiz for the kids. And I said, hey, how tall is Zach Edey? And one of the boys there that was here, he said 7'4". I said, okay, how many rebounds do you think he has? He's played 10 or 12 minutes. How many rebounds? Oh, he's probably got 8. And so he's had 1. Okay. I said, how tall do you think Ja Morant is? He goes, 6'2". So I think that's right. How many rebounds do you think Ja has? I don't know, 4. He's got 6. I said, can you explain to me why a 6'2" guy has 6 rebounds and the other guy has 1? And so former Purdue grad, their former teacher, they had to FaceTime him and ask that exact same question. Okay. And he was like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. It was great.
Ja is doing like the old school Russell Westbrook thing they did in OKC with Steven Adams, where he would just come in from the wing and steal rebounds from Steve-O. And there was a lot of them where Zach probably could have had 4 or 5 more easily. Mm-hmm. And Ja just came in and took it, which is what we want. All right. Like we want him to have it so he can just get it and go. But Zach, I mean, he's struggling, right?
Yes.
Like, he's just struggling as a center. I think he's trying to figure out where he fits in this offense because the offense isn't really catered to a player like him. Like last year, a couple years ago, the offense is more catered to him, right? Slow down, screen and roll, let him get those middle kind of passes and lobs.
Right.
This kind of 4 or 5 out read and react is not something that he's really done before, right? So he's having a hard time. And that's not only offensively, defensively, he is just kind of meandering around out there, right? Like he has a couple nice little chase down blocks or like a recovery block I think he had on Dame in the first quarter or whatever it was. He has moments like that. For the most part right now, he just looks lost. And that is just going to be time. And more playing time, not more playing time, but the more minutes he gets and the more reps he gets, he'll start to figure that out.
Yeah, it's about being comfortable, especially the pace of play is so much faster than the college game. The physicality is so much, faster than the college game. So it's going to take time for him to get his feet really wet out and kind of feel a good feeling for, how he's going to be able to affect the NBA game, because it's going to be tough. He's not going to be able to just come in and just affect the NBA game automatically. Question: do you think they should keep Edey as a starter? Do you think they should somehow maybe mismatch depending on the other team to maybe give him a chance to be the best version of himself?
As soon as Brandon Clark feels comfortable enough to be explosive and play hard all the time, it's Brandon Clark's spot to me.
Okay.
I think that is when the Grizzlies are going to look their best, is some iteration of Ja, Bane, Jaren, BC, and whoever that 5th guy is. Okay. any type of offense with Brandon Clark sitting around the perimeter trying to shoot threes, it's just not happening. And it's just a misuse of him. We tried this a couple years ago and it was a disaster. We all worried about BC. What was he going to do? The following year, we put him back into his natural role, which was rim rolling and shooting that floater that he's deadly at. And everything was fine. And he was awesome. He gets the contract. Once he gets comfortable, which I think a lot of the stuff is just the comfortability of feeling safe jumping off that leg all the time, he's the starter to me. He just is. I think Edey is going to be a good player, but I think he's a career backup. Like, that's my honest opinion of him.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just do not see him as a regular starter for a high-end team.
Okay.
That's just the way I view him.
And that's going to happen. And honestly, if he becomes the starter, which he already is, but if he becomes, the set starter moving forward, that's fine too. But the thing is, like, at some point, you have to be honest with yourself, whether you're a big Edey fan or not. You have to look at this team and does he fit the team? How does he best benefit the team? How's the best version of this team with him? And at that point, is it coming off the bench? Is it being the sole starter? And maybe they use him as a piece to really be dominant in some areas on some nights, but not every night. A player like that is not going to be dominant on every night. That's just the truth. There's going to be bad matchups, just like there will be for smaller players. Like, you're going to have, like, the smaller guards in the league, unless you're explosive like Ja Morant, you're going to have, tough times coming against. Just look at Yuki. He's awesome, but sorry, not Yuki. No, but I just think that guys sometimes if they don't have just a high level of athleticism, they don't have just a certain thing. And honestly, BC, I see Wayne was talking about BC. Same thing with BC. Sometimes he was unplayable in some series in the playoffs, but then you think he's the best player because of the matchups and different things. But let's move on from Edey, and we're going to talk about the Grizz 901 player of the game. The Grizz 901 player of the game is Ja Morant. I know that was a big spoiler. I kind of gave a little teaser there. Yeah, it's just Ja Morant. 26 points, 10 rebounds, 14 assists. And I put this on here because I thought it was cool. The plus 29, and I believe it was the 29 minutes. So pretty much, they're getting a point for every minute he's in, which is awesome. But the fact that he's got the 26 points and then the triple double, just an incredible night out of Ja, and what he was showing that he was the best player on the court. I know that if you look at Giannis had 37, 11, 4. I get it. Okay, Giannis is a freak. Ja Morant by far looked the most explosive. I think he could have got that point and those points that Giannis was getting if he would have been able to play more minutes, but also more competitive minutes. So thoughts on Ja, just overall his game tonight, but kind of looking forward to the season.
Yeah, well, obviously he was awesome tonight, but he is a tone setter, right?
100%.
And I think last night he just wasn't having a good game. And I thought he started forcing a little bit and just got frustrated, kept forcing, frustrated, and it rolled over. Well, tonight he got it rolling early. And so for him, I think starting well is something that's important for him because it can rally the rest of the guys and it gets him going mentally, right? Where he starts barking more. And he's tried to do that a few times so far this year, like trying to get things going, but it just has not been able to finish for him yet. And that's just another result of time, getting acclimated again. And tonight he was awesome. And I wouldn't expect him to average a triple double, right? But the early signs for the assists are good signs. He could average a double-double. I think that is 100% in play for him, for sure.
I agree. And honestly, he's a great rebounder just for the fact that he is, a lot of times he's not playing the best shooter. He's usually playing the more off-ball guy where he can kind of be a roamer to back up Jaren a little bit, but also the reason he wants to get the rebound is because then he knows if he gets the rebound, he can go quick. And he doesn't have to wait and try to find out who got the rebound, get it from them and go. A lot of times he likes to get the ball in his hand. So I love when he rebounds. I love when I bet on him to rebound. You know what I hate though, Ryan? If we're going to just be honest here, I hate sports books that say, you know what? 8 rebounds is the max for Ja Morant.
Yes.
We don't want to.
You can't
we
go
don't
up
want
to
put anything else. No, there's nothing.
We don't want
else
the
we wanna give you.
liability. No liability on him having a 12 rebound night. No way. Yeah.
I'm trying to give you money. Just take my money. I want to see if you'll give me that line. Tonight, I would have played it up to 10. I should have played it a triple-double just because I thought he was pissed off enough to do that. I should have done it, but I didn't. But I should have. But I did play it all the way up to 8. So it was great. It's one of my bigger plays of the probably the year. It was nice just because I saw it at 4.5 at -110. Kind of a gimme. And he's cleared this.
Right. Yeah.
He's cleared this at every single time he's faced the Bucks in the last 3 years. So I thought it was a good play. But thoughts on Ja Morant next game? They're obviously going to play Saturday. Do you think that this is a repeatable game from him? It looks like, I believe they're still at home. Is that correct? Or no, they're going on the road.
I believe it's on the road. Yeah. It should be at Philadelphia. And he is going to dunk all over Andre Drummond.
Wow. All right.
He's going to poster him.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Hopefully Ja turns around and has another good game. We really need that. There's no word now on Bane and Smart, so we're curious how that goes. So a lot of it's going to be on Ja and Jaren moving forward because I know Bleak, we saw what Paulo Banchero's out with. It's the exact same thing. So there's a lot that we're going to look at, a lot we're going to try to figure out, but hopefully Ja can repeat the same thing. But let's talk a little bit more about the guys, and then we'll get to the Grizz trivia. But we're going to go ahead and kind of transition back to where we were. And we're going to look at a little bit, just kind of diving a little bit more into the game. And then we'll kind of fast forward into the Grizz trivia and then move on from there.
Right.
But looking at the bench unit real quick, they had Bobby Portis. Meh. Marjon Beauchamp didn't get his extension. Meh. Tyler Smith. Still young.
I don't think did he play?
5 minutes.
Oh, he got the garbage time.
Pat Connaughton, the Great White Hope, is done.
Been done. This is a few years in the making. Yeah.
DeLon Wright.
Whew.
Meh.
No, the Bucks are just really old, right? Like Chris Middleton is not there. I don't know why they think when Chris Middleton shows back up, everything's going to fit like a glove and they're going to be good again. Like the team just isn't very good and it's really old and Dame's not guarding anyone. So they're not defending anyone. You can get whatever shot you want. And it's just basically on you if you're going to make them or not, because anything the Grizzlies wanted to do tonight, they could.
Correct.
If they wanted to just shoot, like if they decided before tip-off that they wanted to shoot only 8-foot floaters, they could have got it every possession. Like if they wanted to decide they're only going to shoot backwards granny 3-point shots, they could have created that every single possession. Like the Bucks are just a bad defense, and it's really an indictment on this team because they've had 3 days off. They were off Monday. And they didn't work on defense at all in practice.
Right.
Like, did Doc literally give them the days off and just said not to show up to the gym? So they definitely didn't practice any 3-point shooting over the past couple of days. But this is just a really bad defensive team. And I don't know how a 32 or 33-year-old Chris Middleton returning is going to all of a sudden solve their problems.
No,
I don't get it.
Yeah, I think they're going to definitely be on the struggle bus for sure. But let's go ahead and we'll make this a little bit quicker of a night. We'll talk to the real quick, and then we'll get to Grizz Trivia, do a little look ahead. It's a smaller number night. I know people have things going on, so I don't want to keep people forever. Look to the bench. Kind of talk about anybody you want to, but Brandon Clark, 7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. J Huff 4, 2, and 1. He had 17 minutes though, being one of the 9 that played tonight. And then we talked about Scottie Pippen earlier. And then the last guy we haven't talked about was Jake LaRavia. A double-double, 11 and 10. He did not get an extension.
Not yet.
It's done. Well, I don't know the time.
Did they decide that?
Today's the last day.
Oh, okay. So
I
haven't heard anything.
I assume it's during work hours. I think usually it's like 5 or 6, whatever time. I don't know. Maybe we see something tonight. Maybe we see something tomorrow. I don't know, but I think you have to actually sign it on October 31st. That is the date. I do know that.
Yeah.
I just don't know what time. But anybody surprise you tonight? Did you like Jake? Did you like any of the other guys?
I mean, I liked them because they played well. I mean, Jake is what he is, right? And he doesn't get a lot of credit for the kind of hockey assists that he creates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he can create the beginning of the advantage, make the pass, which creates the rotation. Then that guy passes to the guy that gets the wide open shot. Yeah. The problem has always been for Jake is just his touch. It can be great or it can be not even close. Last night. Like he can be 1 for 10, or tonight he can have 14 points. But what he has done well is he's played really hard and he's rebounding the ball. He's creating advantages by his cutting and making the extra pass. So it's kind of like a barometer test with Jake early in the season is if he's having to shoot 10 plus times, probably not great for us. But just looking at his assists and rebounds, I think it's kind of an indication on where his night is. Yeah. But I thought Scottie Pippen really was kind of the guy that really threw off Dame enough when he came in and was awesome offensively. That really kind of stuck out the most for me from the bench unit, even though Jake had to hire plus minus and all that kind of stuff. I just thought Pippen played really well. I was really impressed with him. I thought it was his best game that he's had so far in a Grizzlies uniform.
Nice. All right. Sherman Jones would like to have a word. Dang. Where's the energy? They played well. Give them their credit.
What do you mean? Where's the energy? It was great.
Zero energy out of you. He's calling you out saying, hey, I need a little bit more. I need some more energy. I need more love for Jake. He played well tonight.
Look, I have been the only defender of Jake his entire career. So, yeah, I'm just realistic with players, right? Like, it just is what it is with Jake. He's great, like 10th to 12th guy. But his game is going to be up and down, and that's just what he is. But if he's a consistent hustle, rebound, create the pass guy, that's good enough. You don't need a lot of scoring from him, I don't think.
It's probably your attitude because your shirt. You got Drew on your side. I've never been a Jake guy. I don't believe Nate. I don't think. Yeah, Nate's definitely not a Jake guy. You have so we have I guess a Twitter DM group chat thing between me, you, and I almost called you Ryan. Between me, you, and Nate. And you are through and through the Jake guy of all of us, right? I'm not saying you like live and die. You love the guy.
Right.
I think you see potential, or I think you see some upside that he has in him, but I think you have to be honest with yourself, just like you are. Being a 12th guy is probably his role just in general. So curious how that they handle that, because he's played his best season ever.
Been great.
It's this season. and it's the time to pay him. He about to turn into a pumpkin, and so I'm curious what happens. But honestly, I think it's 5.1 million if they do sign to that. So maybe they're like, hey, maybe not 5.1 million, bro. Like, come on, like, let's renegotiate that one. But we'll see. Anyway, all right. That's been enough breakdown of the game. And listen, I will say that because I know Wayne's talking about the Philippine guy, Mr. Philippines guy. I know you love Kai Jones or Kai Soto or whatever his name is.
Kai Soto, okay.
Whatever. He loves Kai Soto. The only thing he talks about is Kai Soto. I don't know enough about Kai Soto. The Grizzlies aren't going to go get Kai Soto. They don't have an open spot. They don't need a Kai Soto. They need another John Morant. So if you have like John Morant, if you know a John Morant, we'll take John Morant, but we don't need a Kai Soto. So I love that you're a big fan, but don't ruin the chat for people because this is positive. We want to keep it positive, but we love that you love Kai Soto. Just don't be that guy. Have some fun. We want to be there. Goon the Shooter is the only person that can be negative all the time. Goon, we love you. We know that you hate Darren, and you're staying to the calls. But all right, we're gonna go to a little bit of Grizz Trivia. I wonder if you saw this tonight. I'm being very generic with my Grizz Trivia early on the season because one, we have a lot of these, and two, today was busy. I didn't have a chance to really dig deep, but I had to find something Halloween. The only thing I find is this little piece of Halloween trivia. The Grizzlies, in franchise history, have played 10 games on Halloween night.
Okay.
So would you like for it to be a trick or a treat? Because I would like to know, it's their first team's first home game, Halloween home game since 2015. So giving you a little bit of help, trying to piece the puzzle together. But they played 10 total franchise games on Halloween. What do you think their record is?
And
this takes no thought process. Just a good guess here.
I would say 7-3.
7-3. Trick. There's no treat for you. I'll give you one more guess. Somebody in the chat has got it right.
Oh, I don't even have the chat on. 10-0.
How do you not have the chat on?
I just don't look. I'm sorry.
All right, I won't tell you when they're making fun of you then. It's not 10-0. It's not 3-7. King Meeks and Goon the Shooter got it. They're 5-5. They were entering tonight 4-5, and so now 5-5 is the correct answer. And so that is the worst Grizz trivia of all time. But I will say I had to find something Halloween related. It was Halloween related. I did my job in that area. I just did not come through with anything more interesting than that. So they are now 5-5.
I appreciate you saving your worst for when I'm on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was zero chance to try to get it right. But honestly, you don't even have the chat. You don't even have the chat on, so the chat is officially against you, which I'm cool with. Austin, bruh, you gotta be a little faster. Those little fingers typing.
5-5. Oh.
All right, let's this is gonna be off the rails. Let's go ahead and do the look around the league a little bit. Is there anything that you've seen so far that you like outside of the Grizzlies related stuff? Not giving us any of that. Paulo Banchero is obviously out indefinitely. 4 to 6 weeks. They're going to do a follow up and reevaluate him. It's an oblique, just like Bane has. Obviously, it's much further a bigger issue. But looking around the league, anything else that just interests you that you're looking at?
I mean, I thought the Celtics would come into the season maybe a little hungover, right? And they have just picked up right where they ended. And they're probably even a little better, which is odd because Porzingis isn't even playing. But besides that, like the Mavs, I hate that it's in our division and I don't want to give the Mavericks a bunch of props, but that team is really good, man. Like they just are. They can, and I think they're getting thumped tonight by the Rockets. And that's just kind of the NBA, right? But they can really do whatever they want. Very versatile. They can give you any look that any defensive look that you show them, they can counter, and vice versa. So, barring some like devastating injuries to the Mavericks, like I don't see how the Mavericks don't return to the conference finals again at minimum.
Yeah,
like they just look that good so far early in the season. I mean, there's been some individual efforts, like LaMelo Ball has been incredible. And I think I was especially kind of like off it. Like, I'm not really like this, just never really going to happen for LaMelo. He can just keep driving around on his roof in his go kart, and keep doing that kind of thing. But he has been like all-star level, all NBA level to start the season. So that's been a real, not a delight, but a shock to see him playing so well early in the season.
Okay. Let me ask you about some teams because we have some that are coming up in the chat just in general, but some teams I want to get your opinion on just overall. You talked about the Mavericks. They're going against the Rockets tonight. The Rockets are winning 107-100.
Oh, they came back. Okay.
Yep. So there's 17 seconds left in the game. It's over, obviously. But the Houston Rockets, the Grizzlies lost to them.
Yeah.
They play a different style of defense. Their offense is just chaos. Like it's just whoever has the ball, you do you, man, and we'll figure it out.
Go for it, man.
But their defense is something different than we've seen in general. Most teams they're a little bit lackadaisical, a little off, but they play up in you. They're all in your space. They want to create that pressure, a la the old Baylor basketball team when they played the Gonzaga. That's how the Grizzlies felt like Gonzaga that night they played them.
Yeah,
they play all up in you a little bit, and they kind of get in your kitchen per se. But they obviously play man to man. There is no help. You get beat by all means. So, do you like that? Is there anything that you like with that team? Is that a good playoff style team?
I don't think their offense is good enough to be they'll be good in the playoffs if they make it. But the defense is something I think can hold up. I mean, Sengun is still a problem for them that when it's slowed down in the playoffs, and if they played someone like the Mavericks, like teams are just going to pick on Sengun, right? Yeah. But the wing kind of defenders that can guard on an island, that is obviously something that you'd love to have. Like I wish the Grizzlies still had it, right? Defending on an island is such a huge key in the NBA. If you can't do it, you're going to have a lot of problems. And we see it with the Grizzlies right now. They just having a hard time guarding on an island, but they are physical. They're fast. They fly all over the court. Like I think for the look ahead, I talked about their 3-point defense. They just absolutely refuse. Like you can kind of take them, but you'll have a hand in your face. They absolutely refuse to give up wide open threes. So that's the kind of defense that you want. I don't know about the offense to pair with it, and if Sengun can hold up when it came down to it in a playoff series, if they make it there. I don't. They might not.
Right. Jabari Smith. Thoughts on Jabari?
I like Jabari. The idea of him. He is. I think the consistency part, and I think he's hurt playing with a team like this offensively, where it's you have the ball, you do your thing, right? The only one really passing out there is Fred VanVleet. I think Jabari would benefit more from people that actually pass to him. Like he's open a lot. He just doesn't get the ball. And so a lot of times for him, he's just kind of passively standing in the corner now. But he'll have moments where he gets hot and he looks awesome. But he's just not a creator like the Rockets, like the other wings. So he's just not going to get the ball. And I don't like it for him, even though I like the player.
Okay. Going to another team in Orlando. They're obviously losing Paolo. Can they survive being without Paolo so long? You're talking about through November through December, probably ramping up, let's say the All-Star break, just to feel comfortable because you don't want to rush somebody. Can they survive till the All-Star break without him?
They can tread water because of their defense, but the offense is going to be ugly. It's going to be really nasty. I mean, it's ugly beforehand. Like there's not a real shooter on their team. I mean, there's ideas of shooters, like KCP is okay. Jalen Suggs has his moments, right? I think he was on a heater the other night where he hit like 5 or 6 against, I can't remember who it was, but overall offense is a problem for that team. And Paolo was a huge part of that. So they'll have to find it somewhere else, but I have a feeling everything for them to kind of stick at a 500 level without him is going to be a lockdown on defense. So if you are a betting person, a lot of team total unders are probably in your future for the Magic. Okay. So they're still a good team. They still have the length. They still have the size. They still have Franz. Like, they still have good players.
Okay.
The defense is going to be great, I think.
So it's all about treading water. Hopefully you can turn up
Yeah.
on the defensive end to make it work. All right. Right now, who are the 2 undefeated teams in the league?
I think the Cavs are one,
Ding.
and the other one is the Thunder.
You're right. Very
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
They're a combined 9-0. The Cavs are the 5-0 team. All right. So let me ask you a couple more questions. This is personal opinion, not record related.
Oh.
Who's the worst team in the league?
Oh, the Wizards. By God.
Far.
Oh, they're horrible.
Okay. So they just beat the Hawks twice.
I mean, the Hawks aren't much better, but I mean, the Hawks can at least have some interesting players. Okay, I shouldn't say it. The Wizards do have a handful of interesting players that I'd like to see, right? Like, I would love Corey Kispert on our basketball team. Kyle Kuzma, like, maybe you can talk yourself into him if it's a particular role. Jordan Poole, I think, has been playing point guard for them. Okay, like Alex Sarr, I wasn't a huge fan in the draft, and he's been pretty rough so far. I don't really think there's anybody that I kind of like Bub Carrington a little bit, the other rookie that they had, the lottery pick, but that is just not going to be a good team. Like there's no reason for them to win, none at all.
So honestly, like I don't think they're absolutely terrible. I think they have good pieces. I said the other night that I think that this is the best spot that the NBA has been in a long time. There's a lot of good teams. I feel like any team can really beat any team on a given night. It's the
3-point. It's the 3-point shooting. It's like the wing perimeter skills and the 3-point variance is like, that's why it's propelled, I think. It's just that dynamic of shifting more and more to threes that these guys are super skilled and can make any shot.
And Austin's over here that Utah's undefeated.
Winless?
I think I'm not exactly sure. I think your screen, it might be twisted or turned around. They are defeated. They have not won a game.
Trick.
Oh, you got that trick. King Mix wants to know who's the first coach to be fired this year. And why is it Taylor Jenkins?
Minutes. No, let's see who's projected to be a good team that could fall apart.
And why is it Doc Rivers?
First,
yeah,
I
like Drew's about Utah's undefeated.
Man, I can't think of one that would be off the top of my head that just sticks out.
It's got to be Doc Rivers, but would they do that again?
That would be back-to-back seasons of in-season firings for them while they're trying to hold on to Giannis.
It's not Detroit. They just got one. Milwaukee is on, Toronto, new coach. Philly, they have the Embiid issue. Brooklyn is playing much better, the new coach. Pacers, Hawks, maybe Hawks. I don't know, but they just got him 2 years ago or last year.
Yeah,
Charlotte's better. Washington's a development. Miami, New York, Orlando, Chicago, Boston, Cleveland. I think the East looks okay. Then you got OKC, Golden State, Phoenix, Dallas, Lakers, Memphis, Houston. The Clippers, they just got new arena. There's no reason to get rid of Ty Lue. Sacramento they struggled last year, but I think they're a little bit better this year. They did get DeRozan. That might be an issue, but I don't know why you change your coach. Yeah. Minnesota, no. Denver, no. Portland, they don't know what they're doing. I only know they know who their coach is.
Chauncey has been there a while.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've won more than 25 games.
Are they developing anybody too? Like, that's the issue.
You see, that's what I don't know. I mean, I think Shaedon Sharpe is hurt already again. I don't know if he's played this year, but Scoot obviously didn't look great. Yeah. DeAndre Ayton hasn't responded. And they get Denny Adija, and I think they want to be a little bit more competitive, but they look really bad again this year too. So I think Chauncey could be a dark horse one.
All right, we'll do that. That's the closest one I can do because San Antonio, you're not firing Pop. Utah, they're trying to lose. They're actually doing the right thing.
Their coach is too good for Utah.
Right.
Like it's a shame that he has to coach that team.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what that is. All right. So last thing before we do the look ahead, rookie of the year so far. Who has been, if you had to say right now, season's over. I know we don't have that far, but right now at this moment in time, rookie of the year, is there anybody that stands out?
Not really. I mean, it has been rough for rookies. I mean, stat wise, I think you have to give it to Edey. I think Reese has probably played decent, although he's shooting extremely poorly. I mean, I don't think if Jalen Wells plays like this, he'll make a first team all rookie team, right?
Look at Austin. He's ready.
Oh, 5-5, baby. But yeah, like Jalen Wells probably makes an all rookie team. This is such a bad class. If Jalen Wells it continues to play when everybody's back and is scoring 8 to 12 points, like that might be enough this year to win it. Like it's possible. But besides that, all the top guys are struggling. I mean, Reed Shepherd isn't really getting a lot of minutes with Houston. It's just no one is playing well really yet. So stats wise, which mostly that's a stats award. If Edey's going to average 10 and 8, it's probably going to Edey. Nick, that's probably a good one. If he averages in the mid-teens for them off the bench, he would probably get that too. Yeah.
I have 2 rookie of the year tickets. One is, I think it was plus 1,000 plus 1,200 for right when it came out for Edey. Right. And then I just put in one for like plus 1,500 or something like that for Dalton Connect because they're the only ones getting minutes.
Yeah.
You get the LA bump for Connect. You obviously have Edey who's getting the minutes, who's going to be naturally up in the conversation, and he has a polarizing player. I think he has a chance to, win, but also who else is out there? Like nobody else is doing anything. So I was like, all right, plus 10, 1,200, whatever. I'm gonna do it. So those are my thoughts. So
yeah.
Overall, I think that the race for rookie of the year,
not exciting.
A little eerie, but let's go ahead and look to Saturday. The Grizzlies take on the 76ers. What's your look ahead for them?
Yeah, so my look ahead for the 76ers isn't like a playing style or anything they do. I mean, they're 1-3 to start this year. I don't think they played tonight, but I got to focus on one player, and that's Tyrese Maxey. I mean, we talk about the buzzword about Memphis is minutes. Tyrese Maxey is putting them in. I mean, he's averaging right at 42 minutes a game. He's averaging 31 points per game as well. But get this, on 27.8 field goal attempts per game. That would make Kobe happy. But he's only shooting about 38% from them. So he is higher volume, but his efficiency has fallen way off for him. He's shooting about 12 threes a game so far, shooting 23% from three. So the game plan to me with the 76ers is you just got to keep Tyrese Maxey from, if he gets 30, fine. You can't let him go for 40 or 50. So if he gets on track against the Grizzlies, which the Grizzlies so far perimeter wise, maybe he has that kind of game at home, but I don't know. It's Tyrese Maxey to me that you are completely 100% focused on. And if Kyle Lowry and Andre Drummond beat you, God bless them.
Yeah. All right. So I know that we have Drew asking here about Embiid and PG. PG's out for a good bit because of that hyperextended knee. Is that correct?
I thought that they said he was returning back to like workouts or something like that. Maybe.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one overall, and so I do know that if we're talking about Embiid, all right. So hold on. So 2 days ago, will be assessed later or out tomorrow. They were participating in the practice today, so they're practicing. It looks like So it looks like Paul George is recovering well. Looks like he will be back at some point, but Embiid's supposed to be out. Supposed to be returning before he is. So the latest thing I've seen, Drew, you're going to be thrilled with this. Joel Embiid injury update. Sixer star could make his season debut this weekend against the Grizzlies.
Really? Okay. That's exciing. Great. But he's always been afraid to play us, but I guess Steve-O's not here anymore. No, he always dodges Steve-O. So
he's yeah, Steve-O's gone, so whatever. But who knows? But look at Blackney and DJ coming in from the last second. What up, Blackney and DJ? All right, so enough about Filipino basketball. We're good on that.
What is going on with that? What's going on with the Filipinos?
I don't know. I don't want to block you, bro, but don't make me do it, because I'm down with doing it. People are getting annoyed by you. You annoy somebody else again, I'm just going to push the block button. I'm glad you're a part of this, but we don't need to hear about Philippine basketball. Let's talk about Grizzlies. And so going forward against that game, I haven't seen a number. I don't think we'll see a number tonight, but in general, how do you think they look against them? Let's say with Embiid and without Embiid. Does that change your motto?
I mean, yeah, anytime Embiid plays, it's a problem, right? I mean, Zach Edey has been very foul prone, and we see from Jay Huff past couple games foul prone, and Jaren tonight had some just dumb fouls. So Embiid is a professional flopper.
Yeah.
And so he could live at the free throw line if he's back. He's just a matchup nightmare anywhere he goes. But yeah, if he plays, obviously I feel a little less confident. I think we can rein in Maxey enough and not get hurt by the other guys, where if he doesn't play, I feel confident about the Grizzlies starting a winning streak here.
Yeah, for sure. And Greer Gentry coming in, Embiid out. We don't know. Embiid could be actually set up to return on Saturday against the Grizzlies is the latest rumblings around there. But either way, you don't want, like what I've seen now, and my understanding is that if Edey's going against a smaller player, they kind of need they need to go away from that, because I feel like we have better guys that can go against smaller lineups. Edey actually struggles with the much smaller guys. The bigger guys Edey does well against, because they're not using their quickness to go around him as much. They're still going to try to go around him because they might be a little bit quicker, but he can then be able to feel them more. The little bodies, I think, really worry him, and I don't think he can feel them as well and can't do whatever he normally does. He'll eventually get better at rebounding. He'll feel more comfortable with that. His offense isn't great. He's just catching lobs at the rim, which is fine. Right. They need to do what they were doing tonight and just run pick and rolls, which will be the best version of himself. But I don't know. We'll see. As Drew says, possible return. Yeah, it could be another month for Embiid. We don't know. All right, final thoughts. Tonight, we honestly end up filling up the entire show. I can't believe it. But I wanted to ask a lot of the around the NBA, because we don't do enough of that. And tonight was a fun game, but overall, I think, just kind of having you on, I feel like we take advantage of that. But overall, Grizzlies, anything else? Just kind of last thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, tonight was awesome, right? And that's what it could be, except with better players in the fold, right?
Yeah.
So this is something where you have great games from Pippen Jr. and Jake LaRavia and Santi. Now imagine if it's Gigi, Vince, Bane, and we're cooking like that, right? Like that could be not an unbeatable situation, but you can have games where you're still in it. And like, I know everybody's depressed about the Chicago Bulls game. I thought the Grizzlies played well, and to only lose, like, I get it. You gave up a big lead and you lost by a couple baskets. But most teams in the NBA, when you give up 25 threes to opposing team, you lose by 30. And the fact that the Grizzlies were in the game, I think, is a good sign. Yes, the defense was bad. A lot of threes were wide open. We get all that stuff. But the offense looks like it will, can be leaned on a little bit to kind of keep them in games. And so when everybody comes back, better defensive potential, they could have a really nice run when everything gets put back together. I don't know if that's going to be January, February. Hopefully we're not treading water until then, right? Because the Grizz Twitter space might implode if we're 500 after 2 months, right? But they could have, like the Rockets last year, mid-season, had like a 13-game winning streak out of nowhere where they kind of put it together. I think the Grizzlies could have that kind of run when everyone's back. The defense is starting to click. The offense is clicking completely healthy. So I'm hoping for that run sooner than later. That means everybody's back. But I just don't think it's dire right now, even though it feels that way after giving up a lead and then looking half asleep last night, right? Tonight is the level that it could be with the players that you don't have yet.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you're getting back a good amount of players eventually. Who knows who could go out in the meantime? But you're supposed to be getting back some players. Hopefully, those players who are already hurt don't go out before they get back. We'd like for them to at least get back and then go out again. But overall, the Grizzlies are playing unhealthy basketball. Like they're playing with a lot of guys, and I kind of looked at it last night. I said Scottie Pippen, Huff, Wells, and Edey all were not on this team and not under the tutelage of, Taylor Jenkins and the staff. And honestly, the staff's gone. So this is a new staff in general, but they weren't under the tutelage for, maybe a little bit of Pippen, but not enough to matter. To the fact is they're playing big minutes on a team. The communication isn't there for the defensive side of things. The offense will come quicker than the defense. The defense takes longer because you have to talk so much more. These dudes are freak athletes. They're going to be fine on the offensive end. They're playing with the pace and the space. But just like Austin was saying, you need effort and energy. And that's really what it comes down to with defense is you need the effort, you need the energy to bounce around. And so that's the biggest thing. And Lightning DJ's the 25 game mark. You're talking about, setting yourself up so you don't go too crazy. I think that's a good rule because a lot of times these early on, they're figuring things out too, right? And the health is an issue, so they're figuring that out. So and so we'll see. Unfortunately, Drew, this was the motto last year.
Yep.
That's why this team is and the fans in general, not the team, the fans are freaking out because we had to already live through this. We're done with the we'll wait till the guys get healthy. We're done with that. We want to just be done, have a good season, and not have to worry about things. And so that's why the Grizzlies and fans are freaking out. But overall, the Grizzlies win tonight, 122-99 over the Milwaukee Bucks. They played them well. I feel for the Bucks. I don't, not at all, but I feel for the Bucks because they are struggling. But they've won their championship. They got what they needed to get. All those boys are paid. I don't feel bad on that. I just for this season they look lost, and I don't know if Doc is that guy. Doc ain't that guy.
Doc he has like 8 different 401ks from all the places he's gotten fired from. Right?
He's okay.
He's just collecting Roth IRAs at this point. It's just. It's like rings, for players. Like LeBron's trying to get the 5th. Like Doc is trying to collect another Roth. All right, that's what he's going for.
He's like, give me that, and we good. Now I can go to another island.
Just like good. Monty Williams. Monty Williams didn't want to coach the Pistons, and it was obvious, but he got that paycheck.
Yep. And he's like, hey, what can I do to get out of here? That way I still get paid, but I just need to go. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But we're done for the night. Speaking of being done, this is going to wrap up the show. This will wrap up the shows for the week. I believe the next time we'll be back is I thought they had a Monday game. Is that correct? So they play Saturday.
I think they play the Nets again next week.
It is Monday at the Nets. So we'll be here around the same time, around 9:30 Central Time. On a Monday night, and so we'll be back here. I would assume Nate will be here. Who knows? I know, but he was out of town with work right now. But obviously, thank you for filling in. As always, we're going to try to have Ryan on when either Nate or I have to miss. That way, we kind of keep the same group, but we don't have to bring in new people. So we kind of keep the same chemistry for the same, for the show. I think it makes the most sense, and so I appreciate you being on. You'll be on many more times throughout the year, and so we'll have a good time. But for all you Philippine fans, Shout out to you guys. But that's all we can do tonight. The damage is done. We'll see you all Monday night. Be nice and tell your friends.